And today, the day after playing Smash TV, we play Robotron 2084, the first twin-stick shooter ever made. Seem a little bit familiar, perhaps? I think it's familiar, but it's got bright, flashing, seizure-inducing colors, so, yeah. There seems to be a little bit of a, hey, what gives kind of feeling playing this immediately after playing Smash TV, isn't there? The goal is to kill all the enemies and collect the people before the robots do. And it's a lot more minimal and a lot less fun than Smash TV. I mean, it's still fun. But here is kind of the issue that really makes me kind of nervous when giving certain rankings to certain games. Yeah, why? Are these all my high scores still? I have played this game before. But Robotron 2084 comes in the book before Smash TV, obviously. This is the first twin-stick shooter ever made. And if this was the game that I played first, I probably would have said yes to it. But after playing Smash TV, it's quite clearly a no and a filler entry, considering we have Smash TV. And I'm sure there are other twin-stick shooters that are going to do something unique and interesting. But all this is just redundant. But every time I say yes to a game, like, it makes me very worried that something in the future is just gonna do this thing better. I mean, sometimes a game that does the thing first is obviously the best one, like Zookeeper was far worse than Bejeweled, and Space Giraffe is not as good as Tempest, the original Tempest. But sometimes it's just, I don't know. It's impossible to get an extra life in this game, I believe. And the biggest issue is it can be hard to tell the things you can save and the things that you can kill. What the Honestly, for an arcade game, it doesn't look much better than an Atari 2600 game. I mean, sure, everything uses more than one color, which generally doesn't happen on the 2600, but... Save the last human family. Yeah. So, yeah, this is obviously a no. I mean, it's a fun game, but only if you haven't played Smash TV. And this is, like one of the biggest worries of mine doing this thing. I've talked about this before with Defender and Stargate, and sometimes it's not always easy to tell. I mean, if it's within a series, yeah, I could probably figure that out just by doing some research and going into every single game in the series, if it becomes absolutely necessary. But spiritual successors, random things like Space Giraffe or Zookeeper, or Gorf, Things that don't even sound like they are the same as what they're influenced or ripping off. That makes things a little bit more complicated. Of course, I can always issue redactions, but like, I don't want to have to do that. And of course, there could be versions of a game or a style that aren't in the book at all, that's the best version of it. When it comes to Harvest Moon, for instance, people say that the best Harvest Moon is either Back to Nature for the PSP, Friends of Mineral Town, and 64. And only Friends of Mineral Town is in the book. After Smash TV, this is just nothing. There's no power-ups. There's no alternate fire. There's no even way to collect extra lives. It's just save the people, kill the robots. You can't even accidentally hurt the people. The sound effects are lacking, the visuals are lacking. I like the colors, and it is fun, it's just... It's like the original Legend of Zelda, it's just been left behind by the flow of time. End of story, just about. Honestly, I probably should have put this in with the Smash TV episode, but I suppose it's better this way, so everybody could feel the exact same way I do when I read the book and I come with find another fucking game that's redundant. And there's no real strategy to tackle this problem. You can't start with, like, the latest in the book, because sometimes you'll get something that's based on a previous game that's kind of just a ripoff. If you're going backwards from the beginning, you're gonna play Max and the Magic Marker before you play Scribblenauts. And it's a fine game on its own, unless you're playing the DS port. But it's no Scribblenauts. You might play Chime before you play Lumines. And Chime is essentially a rehash of Lumines. But if you start from the beginning of the book, you're going to play Robotron 2084 before you play Smash TV. I mean, sometimes I know which games are related, but not always. Also, it takes too long in between lives. That's the thing I've noticed. I think we're done here. There's nothing we're missing. I've showed you the entire game. And that's your answer. Less than 10 minutes. I might fuse this with another game, I don't know.